Hello, my name is Jay Carpenter. I'm founder of StarChain, and it is 7 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, October the 15th, 2024. And this is our weekly session for the StarChain community to be able to jump on and share what they're working on or talk about different dimensions of what's going on with StarChain. And tonight's kind of an open session. I do have a paper to talk about just a little bit that I think touches upon some really key points and highlights some interesting dimensions, many of which StarChain is also addressing. But this week is the Meridian Conference over in London, and a lot of the people from Stellar are there. So we're going to keep this kind of short, but this is the update opportunity. I will let you know that although things have been kind of quiet on Discord, I have been working away and coming up with some, I think, some really amazing dimensions to StarChain. And I'm looking forward to sharing those with you at a certain point, but I feel like I've got to get them a little bit further along before I open them up and start, demonstrating various dimensions to this. But it is coming together. It's been quiet. It will probably be quiet for a little bit longer, but hang in there with us, and I think it will be worth your while. So let's take a look at this paper that I came across. And I think it was fairly recently that it was published, but this is a paper that was created by the United Nations Capital Development Fund, which I'm not totally familiar with, but it touches upon some really critical points about a directory of directories, yeah, the role that identity plays in not only payments, but also having various payment systems operate with one another, and um, just some really interesting and uh, salient points that are touch upon what's going on with StarChain. And I was looking through this, and I noticed that there is actually someone who, from the Stellar Development Foundation, that was part of this. And hello, Hiroyuki. Welcome. We're talking about a paper that was just published recently by the United Nations Capital Development Fund. I'm going through a few points on that. So, welcome. Anything you'd like to say before I continue?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Long time
Welcome.
no see.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Okay. I was just mentioning, Hiroyuki, that things have been kind of quiet on the Discord, but I can assure you there's some great things that are taking shape around StarChain and things that I'm working on. I'm looking forward to sharing. So, in any case, this paper by the United Nations Capital Development Fund touches upon some key points on the need for like a ubiquitous global directory of directories. And it talks about some of the needs for that directory, some of the elements, how this would facilitate interoperability among payment platforms and systems and so forth. So I think it's filled with some really interesting points, and many of those points are relevant to StarChain. So, and I was just starting to point out that someone named Paul Wong from Stellar Development Foundation uh, was part of the group that had something to do with this, the publishing of this paper. And then somebody from Ripple also was part of this initiative in some way. But what I'm not emphasizing tonight, but I do think is really valuable and important, is that Ripple and Stellar are the two Web3 blockchain ecosystems that have been basically recommended or granted or dubbed by the Federal Reserve for the FedNow payment system. So I think Stellar is in a really great position to capitalize on, their network and all the amazing components of Stellar in both the governmental realm as well as here, obviously, in the United Nations. They've got some sort of active role in this, not to mention their Stellar Aid Assist program and so forth. But this is just another piece in that whole initiative and movement where I think Stellar has a great position. So anyway, this is the executive summary. I won't go into this in great detail, but in this, what is it, fourth paragraph, you can see where they talk about this, the need to interconnect these private payment directories and make a directory of directories. And if you kind of scroll through this, they make some really interesting points. They emphasize that, in fact, they have mobile phone numbers as number one on the list in terms of examples of identifiers that are out there, along with email addresses and national ID numbers, and then company and corporation numbers, and then some other, sort of ad hoc identifiers and so forth. But I found this to be a really interesting paper, and I want to read through it again in a little more detail. But I think it just highlights, if nothing else, the need for this overarching directory. And they also point out some stumbling blocks around this, and in my view, kind of some conflicting viewpoints where they want this to be as ubiquitous as and easy to interop or operate with, like a telephone network or the email network. But then they talk about some other things that I think add some friction to that in the long run. So anyway, and this is one of apparently several papers that have been published or are being worked upon since 2020, where apparently this initiative was kicked off. And so anyway, that's about all I really wanted to go over for this particular piece. And it is open now for discussion. Hiroyuki, anything you would like to talk about or highlight or share about what you're working on?
I don't have.
Okay. Okay. Well, next week we'll probably get into a little bit of code. Serge has been creating some functionality. Last week he demonstrated a communications messaging functionality using, I believe, RPC and Rust. So that was interesting to see. And then before that, he's put together I think in both Node.js as well as Rust, a way to automatically encode or at least decode the base 64 encoding that is part of the NFTs that I've been creating each day. So you can see that on the, I think it's on the StarCamp's GitHub, and you can test out his code. I've been doing similar things with Node.js and automating the NFT creation process on testnet, and then doing some other things And now I'm focused on IPFS and their JavaScript implementation to keep this as consistent as possible. If possible, I would like to have everything in JavaScript and keep it as uniform and as minimalistic as possible. And then if you want to use Rust, you want to use Sorbonne, whatever, you can. You can take the elements that are in the StarChain directory and you can just go crazy with them. So that's the overall intention of the plan going forward, in my view. So that's where we're at. Hiroyuki, thank you for joining us all the way from Japan.
Thank you.
And we're going to go ahead.
So I can help you with the automation tools to deploy the NFT to Stellar test network using Node.js. And also, I think we can implement a Discord bot to post the NFT, the minted NFTs directory. I mean, we can post the event of NFT minting, start camp NFT minting to Discord using Discord bot.
Oh, interesting.
By Node.js.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
I think I can help you with this progress.
Okay, cool. Well, at some point too, a critical piece is to start to trade these NFTs on the Stellar decentralized exchange. So that's something I'm very interested in as well, but I'm just not quite there yet. But yeah, let's continue that conversation about how you can use the Discord bot to incorporate with the NFTs. And that sounds really cool. I didn't realize you could do that. So I'd be interested to explore that further. So cool. All right, we'll wrap it up there. And thanks for that suggestion and bringing that to my attention. And yeah, it sounds really interesting. So thanks, Hiroyuki. I appreciate it. And we will reconvene next week on Tuesday. All right?
Okay, all right.
Have a good evening or good day where you're at.
Good day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.